Nathalie, para. Con ne berofa.
If you're a millennial, you've probably grown up watching Pingu screaming "Noot Noot" and hating on green vegetables. Ever wondered how this show was made? The answer to that question is stop motion animation. Stop motion animation is a filmmaking technique that's existed for over 100 years now. In this technique, filmmakers can make even inanimate objects appear to move. Filmmakers realized they could create magic by simply starting and stopping their cameras. Objects, clay, puppets, and even people can be animated, but the technique is always the same. In today's episode, we are going to learn the very basics of stop motion animation, and teaching us this interesting skill is Sharanya Ramesh. After working in the ad film industry as an assistant director for over 8 years, she took the leap to make her own stop motion animation film. 2 years later, her film Tata's Secret completed its journey from her home studio to film festivals around the world. Thank you so much, Sharanya, for joining us. I'm very excited for today's session, and I'm sure everyone watching is too. My first question is a very basic one, and that is, what is stop motion animation?
So stop motion animation is what I would say the basics of animation. The concept is the basics of animation, which is that every incremental move in an object or a drawing and every image, when strung together, becomes a video. And that's what stop motion animation is. So for simplest example I would use is say Lion King, which is the older Lion King, where every move was a new frame drawn, and when those frames are put together, it forms the video which you see finally. And that's what stop motion is. But stop motion in that sense is a lot more diverse, because you can use objects, you can use clay, you can use people.
So, I know for a fact that stop motion animation is a very time consuming process. Can you talk about that as well? Because many people think that it's something that, you wouldn't possibly take that long to make a 6-minute video. But when you're talking about stop motion animation, it can take months and months on end.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's one thing. I think when people watch the final output of a stop motion, production, they look at it and they're like, oh, that's so cool and it's great, and sort of glamorize it. But I have never minced my words about this. It is a tedious job and you need a lot of patience. And if you don't have patience, then this is not for you. To get a little more technical, to make 1 second of film, it takes 24 frames or 24 images. So if I'm making 6 minutes, that's 6 into 24. Or,
that's a lot of maths that I don't even want to
okay,
get
my maths is clearly bad, but yeah, it's a lot of images. So, and honestly, every move you make has to be a move you're sure of making. Because once I make the move, and I've done a few more of those, I can't go back and be like, oh, actually that didn't work, let me go back. So in that sense, every retake in stop motion is a whole day's work going back. Kind of. So yeah, it's a time consuming process, but honestly the reward of it is in finally seeing the fact that you moved an inanimate object and brought life to something. It's got that God feeling to it a little bit, so it's a great feeling. Yeah,
correct. I think especially in our times right now with computer generated imagery and a lot of other sorts of animation coming, do you think that stop motion animation has taken the back seat somewhere, that no more that it's as popular as it used to be, or is it more popular now?
Yeah, so actually stop motion is coming back, or has come back quite a bit in the last few years, because some really big studios, especially in Hollywood, have kind of taken it upon themselves to really champion stop motion animation. And so if someone asks me why stop motion over CG, I don't have an answer actually, because CG is CG. You can create anything in that, and there is a realistic feel to it and all of that. and it may take a little lesser time than stop motion and all that, but the feel that stop motion has, the style, the visual style of it, I don't think can be replicated by CG.
Correct. And I also feel it's very unique. Like every video that you make, every stop motion video is very different from the other because it's all in the creator's imagination
Yes.
that's coming out. I was reading up somewhere that Chris Miller, for his movie, the Lego movie, he actually wanted it to give out the stop motion animation feel.
Yeah.
So he replicated. He tried. There was a lot of research that went into how to bring fingerprints and dandruff on the blocks to give it a homemade feel.
Yeah, that's actually, that was a really interesting, even I saw this small short video about it, where the previous Lego movie was like all the Lego blocks were very fluid, but the Lego pieces we've played with all our lives are blocks. They
Correct.
don't bend, so how are their hands bending? So he wanted to bring that back. That is, it's a Lego piece. Make it move like a Lego piece, but give it life. And so what they actually finally did is just astounding stuff, because it feels very realistic, but in a Lego world, so and stop motion can do that, which CG, what tends to happen is people take those liberties and start bending objects that don't bend.
Okay, so now coming to your tutorial, you've planned out a few things for us. Why don't you quickly tell us about what we are going to do?
So I just figured I'd do a simple tutorial. So I've gone with clay animation. And it's just a small piece of plasticine, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it move. Today I'm going to be taking you through a simple stop motion animation tutorial. I have created this setup, which is in my home, and you can recreate this similar setup in your homes. What I have set up here is a basic table at a decent height. We're going to be shooting this on my phone. So on my phone, which is connected to my laptop, I have a software called Dragon Frame, which is mostly used by professionals. But for a home setup, there are other apps available like Stop Motion Studio, which is free, easy to use, and really quite good actually. So that's my basic equipment, and then we do need lights in a setup where we are shooting stop motion. So what I have here is an LED light, an LED studio light, but in your home setup, honestly, you can just use a table lamp. 2 table lamps would be perfect for this kind of a setup. And what I show you is going to be a very simple move, but from there on you can apply the basics of what I've taught you, the concepts, and create magic with it. As you can see, with every small incremental move of the ball of clay, I click a picture. As these images play together in a sequence, you see the ball move into frame. Now here are a few things to keep in mind and a few tips while animating. The first is to keep your camera steady. Your camera needs to be fixed on a tripod or any kind of base where it won't move. If your camera moves during the course of animating, then your animation won't be smooth. The second thing to keep in mind is your lighting. Now, your lighting needs to be steady as well. It can't keep changing or flickering. Every minor change in your lighting will show on your final video. The next thing to keep in mind is to be sure before you click. Be absolutely sure that your frame is clear and that it works with your previous frame. If your lighting has changed or your camera has moved, this is when you know that has happened. And this is when you get to rectify that. In order to get a slower movement of your clay ball, you shoot more frames and make smaller moves. In order to get a faster movement of your clay ball, you shoot big moves and lesser frames. Another important concept to understand in stop motion animation is the frame rate. So 24 frames or 24 images makes 1 second of animation. A lot of animators shoot 12 frames per second, which is called shooting on twos. This gives you a very stylistic look to your animation, and a lot of animators tend to shoot 24 frames per second, which is called shooting on ones, which gives you a much more subtle, flowy kind of animation. But the most commonly followed is shooting on twos. Many animators mix the two as well. And the last thing to remember is that planning before shooting is important, but changing your plan as you start shooting is never a bad thing.
That was something, wasn't it? Now let's take a quick look at all the things we need to keep in mind.
Does anyone have to go to a school to learn this particular skill, or is it easily available? You can learn it.
So I would say that if you have the means to go to film school, or there are some colleges and universities, especially abroad, that offer 1-year diploma courses in stop motion animation. If you have the means to do it, absolutely go for it. It's the experience is bigger than just stop motion. You're getting to go to college, a different country, all of that. But if you don't have the means to do it, it's not like you can't learn it. I haven't gone to any school or any animation school. I mean, I'm a self-taught artist, so if I can do it, anyone can do it.
I know it's a lifelong skill, something that's going to take a really long time to master. But if one was to start and if one wanted to learn the skill, how long would it take to learn the skill?
So I can't put a time to it per se, but taking my personal example, I actually spent close to 18 months making my first stop motion animation short film, which was an 8-minute short film. So I spent that much time, not just making it, but learning and making.
Correct.
So I would say, to start off, give it a year, but the learning is for life. It's a journey. It's not a destination.
Coming to your first short film ever, Tata's Secret, why don't you tell us a little about it? Walk us through the process of making the film.
Okay, so the film Tata's Secret was what I decided to make after I moved away from Bombay and came home. The story itself, I had written a little before at some point, and I revisited it a few months later, and I didn't mind it still, which is rare for me. So I was like, okay, this is a sign and I need to do it. And so I decided to make the film on this story that I had written.
ஒவ்வொரு வருஷமும் சம்மர் வெக்கேஷன் ஆரம்பிச்ச உடனே நானும் என் தங்கையும் எங்க தாத்தா வீட்டுக்கு போயிடுவோம். காட்டு பக்கத்துல ஒரு பெரிய வீடு.
பசங்களா, நாட்டுப்புறத்துலேருந்து காட்டுப்புறத்துக்கு வந்துட்டீங்கல்ல
அப்படின்னு தாத்தா சிரிப்பார். அவர் பிறந்து வளர்ந்தது எல்லாம் இங்கதான். என் வாழ்நாள் பூரா நான் இங்கே தான் இருப்பேன்னு அடிக்கடி சொல்வார்.
I spent about 2.5 to 3 months shooting, and then the next few months was spent in post-production, which I spent time on because essentially I wanted to learn this software called After Effects as well. So I got to learn that as well for myself. Again, everything off the internet. There are tutorials for everything.
A few years back, I read that, stop motion animation always had like a different film festival. It was not a part of the motion films, but with the movies coming in now, it's viewed by almost everyone around, and it's really appreciated by everyone for the craft. I think that is what is unique about stop motion animation, is that even a tiny blink is appreciated because of the amount of work that goes
into it. Yeah, absolutely. So I think at some point I'd mentioned that there are a lot of big studios in Hollywood that are just championing stop motion animation. So there's a studio called Laika Studios. Their latest film was called Missing Link, but they also made this film called Kubo and the Two Strings, which is, if you look at it, you would not think that is stop motion animation because it is so fluid and beautiful, and they've done it so amazingly well. But it's all stop motion animation. So that is now the evolving style of stop motion to some extent. But there are a lot of people who are like, stop motion can't become CG. Stop motion has to stay stop motion. So if you've seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, or Wes Anderson also then made Isle of Dogs,
I love
that
dogs.
still has a very stop motion feel to it, like things keep moving and all of that. So
So do you think using CG, using computer generated imagery along with stop motion will make life easy? Because what I've realized, one limitation is that because it's so time consuming, it becomes very difficult to make it a motion film,
yeah.
a long.
So this film that I told you about, Kubo and the Two Strings, so a lot of the backgrounds that you see, that is the the sky or whatever it is, those are all CG, or certain visual effects are CG, or whatever, they are VFX. But the puppet and the immediate setting is all real. So that is two worlds coming together, and they're doing that now, which is great. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all just film. At the end of the day, you as a viewer, what you're seeing is a film, and the film has to move you.
The reason why I like stop motion animation is because of the element of nostalgia around it. Growing up, I've seen a lot of Pingu. I've seen a lot of Lion King, as you said. So all of these things have made me realize how beautiful this craft is, and I'm very committed to try it. So I'm sure that everyone who's going to be watching it must try it. Try it for just the fun of it, or if you want to make it a career choice, then there is always a place in Oscars as well. If someone is has made a movie, how do they go about just applying to these film festivals?
So honestly, I also I wish someone had asked this question before I started it, so someone gave me an idea what to do, but I went through it mostly blind. But there are a few film festival portals. There's one called Film Freeway, which has a lot of film festivals on there, and you basically make your project there, and then you can just
put it in your card, is it?
Yeah, and you can just send it to the festivals you choose. But now the festivals you choose, I just went with, I don't know what process I really used, but films that I liked that I'd won at certain festivals, I was like, oh, that festival, okay, I'll try to send it there. But now sending to festivals is money. And I had known before I started making my film. So a big part of my budget was actually kept aside for festivals.
Correct. Thank you so much, Sharanya. This has
Thank
been
you
really
for
fun,
having me.
and I'm sure that everyone who's watching this has learned a lot from you. So thank you.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Stop motion animation is a technique that can be used in multiple ways. The one way I plan on using it is in my lessons. I can only imagine how interesting they will be, not just for the students, but for me as well. So why don't you try this skill and share your results with us? Till then, keep up skilling.